Okay, today what we're going to do is we're going to assemble our colors. You can see Mike is completely done over there on the left hand side, and I'm going to do another one and show you how I did it. The first thing I need to do is I need to weed our sticker here. So I have to weed out all the extra material that we do not need, and I'm just pulling that away. That little device with the needle on it, we just call that a weeder. And it's basically a stick with a needle on the end of it, and we can use that to help us peel up the extra vinyl that is not needed. So be careful when you're pulling this away that sometimes you might pull off something you need to keep. And if that's the case, sometimes you can replace it and put it back down, and sometimes you can't. Sometimes you just have to recut it. But it's very manageable. It can be done. If you have old vinyl, sometimes that's an issue. Because it either is too sticky or it's not sticky enough. And we have a lot of old vinyl here at the school, so sometimes that can be an issue. The rest of the layers I have all weeded and ready to go, so it's a matter of getting that one weeded and getting it taped down in place. I like to tape it down so that it doesn't move around on me. And I start with the black because that's the outline. So that's the outline of Mike, and I want to start with that's the bottom layer. Each layer will be placed on top of that. Now I have this on a light table because it helps for the first couple layers to line them up, and for this next layer it's really important that you line it up well because the outline and the green, you want to have it equal all the way around, and it's kind of hard to do even on the light table, but you can get it pretty close. Now what I'm doing is I'm putting a piece of tape on here to act as a hinge. That way when I get it lined up I can push the tape down and keep it into place, and then I have to pull the backer off. So right now I've lined it up, I think it's in place, and that's going to be my hinge that I will use to lift up the layer, peel the backing off, and then put the layer back down without it moving. So right now what I'm doing is I'm putting some tape over to transfer the sticker from the backing to the tape. Now usually I'll use something called transfer tape, but I don't have any here right now. I have some at home, but not any here, so I'm using this masking tape. You have to be careful. If it's really sticky masking tape, it could be a problem. This masking tape is not that sticky, so I can use it just like transfer tape. Transfer tape is a little bit more clear. It's more like translucent, so you can see through it a little bit better. This one is not as much. Now the blue thing is called a squeegee, and I use that just to push it down and get rid of any air bubbles. So I'm pushing it down. Now I just have to pull off the tape, the transfer tape, which is not really transfer tape. And I've got my first two layers. You'll notice here that it's kind of coming up, so I kind of push it down and use the weeder to kind of hold it down into place while I pull up this tape. And usually that's what I'll do. I'll just push it down and then pull up the tape. Sometimes I try to change direction of the tape. That sometimes helps. So I've got my first two layers down now. Now I've got to go ahead and get the rest of them. Now the rest of the layers are smaller objects. Right here I've got the white. And I put a piece of tape on there. I'm using the squeegee to push it down together. And then I'm going to just peel away the tape, and that will release this vinyl from the backing paper. Now I'd like to hinge it, but I can't see through it well enough to get a good hinge on it, so I'm just going to estimate where it should be and take a guess, and hopefully it'll be close. That's not always the case. If you have something that needs to be really precise, you may not be able to do it this way. But it's worth a try. And so right here I'm just trying to line it up, and once I get it into place I think it's okay. I'm going to squeegee it down, and then I'm going to pull off the release tape, and we'll see if it comes out without peeling up off all the extra little stuff. Now sometimes when you have lots of little bitty things like really detailed things, thin lines and little objects, it tends to want to peel off with the tape. And you can see here that part of the ear wants to come off. So I just have to be careful. Again, I'll use the weeder or sometimes the squeegee to hold it down, and I'll pull the tape. Sometimes I change direction on the tape, and sometimes that helps. And I just kind of push it down. And then if it comes free, I can try to just place it with my weeder. And I'll push it around a little bit. So those little bitty pieces are kind of problematic. And right now I'm just trying to keep that little bitty piece on there because there's just not much surface to stick. So I think I got it off now. Okay, so if you look at this, I'm pointing out that this is not exactly in the right place. So I'm going to try to peel it up and replace it just with the weeder. And sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so I have to caution you on this. And maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. And you can try it if it's really out of place. If it's just a little bit off, probably no one will notice. But I'm going to take a few minutes and peel these back and just put it on the end of the weeder and see if I can place it in the right place. And these don't have to be perfect because nothing is going to really line up with this. I still have the tongue that goes in there, but I think I can just line it up. It'll be close enough. It'll be fine. So I'm getting it in place and just pushing it down. Sometimes when you peel it up, you can damage the vinyl. You could stretch it out or tear it. And I've done that a few times. So you have to be really careful. That's why I say sometimes you can peel it up and you can replace it. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes it tears or you stretch it out and it's no good. So you just have to decide if you want to take the risk. And here I put it back down and it's not in the right place. I'm going to do it again. And hopefully do a little bit better job this time. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Okay, now I've got my little piece of red I want to put in for the mouth. I'm not sure which way this goes in, and I actually put it down and then take it up and then put it down again because I'm not sure I got it the right way. I did get it the right way. It's just that it looked a little bit weird, so I said, well, I'll just peel it up and try it again. And then I ended up putting it down the same exact way. So I'm just holding the red down with my weeder, make sure it doesn't lift up. And you can't see it from this, but it doesn't look quite right. I'm thinking about it now. Should I change that or not? So I'll go ahead and put the eye on. It's just a little bitty part, and I'll just place this by eye. And just eye that up, put it into place. It'll be fine. If it's just a little off, it's not going to be that much big of a deal. I wish I would have gone with a little bit lighter vinyl on this because you can barely see it. And then now I decided to pull up the tongue and figure out if it goes the other way. And once I turned it over, I realized that it doesn't go the other way, and I put it down the same way again. But that's okay. So I'm thinking about it now, like, should I go this way? Should I go the other way? Not sure. And I can place that on a piece of tape if I want to. And that's exactly what I did there. I just placed it on a piece of tape, and I'm going to try to put it down with the tape again. I could put it down with the weeder, but I decided I'm going to try with the tape and take a look at it and see if it looks right upside down. And right now I'm seeing that it doesn't. And there's the bell. So class is about to start, but I've got my planning period. We're good. So I went ahead and placed it back. Got a little bit better placement and peeling it off. Okay, it's kind of peeling off of my tape. I might have to get the weeder out. Oh, I got it. Now I've only got a few more little pieces left. I've got the little bitty toenails to do. And I've got them right on that piece of backing paper. I have to figure out where they go. So that's what I'm thinking about now, because where do those go and how they go on there. Now, if I did it all in one shot, the eyes and the toes at the same time, I wouldn't have to worry about that. I would know where they go. But I'm not sure because I didn't do it at the same time. So I'm looking at the paper trying to figure it out right now. And there, it looks like those go on the right side, so these must go on the left side. I caution you not to have little bitty pieces like this. It just doesn't generally work out. So if you can alter your image a little bit so that you don't have a ton of little pieces, it would be better. And I think you'll be happier with the results. So, and here it didn't get exactly where I needed it, so I'm just going to take the weeder and move it a little bit, and I'll put my other pieces down and hopefully get those into place. You'll notice that the pieces that go on last are the smallest pieces. Generally, that's the way it works. The biggest piece is the first piece. Not always the case, but generally that's the way it works. And then you go from kind of big to small. But really, it's because it's the outline. The black is the outline, and that has to go first. You can't put that on last or it'd cover everything up. So you don't want to cover everything up. And almost got it here, just got a couple more. I wonder if I'm missing a toenail because it may have cut, and then when I weeded it, I pulled it off with the stuff I don't need, and it didn't come off. So I'm going to move that a little bit with my weeder and push it down, and we should be good. Again, I would just try to avoid getting those little bitty pieces. Change your design a little bit to make that work. Okay, so now it's pretty much done. I can take it off of there. And now what I'll do to transfer it, I would have to put tape over it to transfer the whole thing and to apply it to whatever I'm going to apply it to. So I think I'll get some real transfer tape for that. It would be better. There it is.